This artwork behind me is entitled Christchurch Passage, Birmingham, and it was made by my late father, James Priddey. He was a past president of this society, and he was elected associate of the society in 1950 and a full member in 1960. James Priddey was very keen on recording the vanishing Birmingham, and this was a very interesting subject for him to do. It's been done by several other artists, both looking down the steps and looking up the steps, but I think this is a particularly successful etching. The subject of this etching is Christchurch Passage, which unfortunately has now been demolished. It was demolished in the early 1970s, although I believe the steps there still remain. Nothing really replaced that, and it is just an open green field, really, a green space. Well, this is an etching, and it's drawn on a copper plate in the first instance. It has to be drawn in reverse so that when the paper is applied over the plate and put through the roller, the actual image is the right way around. So he did his work in his studio in Harborne in Birmingham, and his press was on an extension outside the kitchen, which is where he did all the physical printing process, although his studio in the house is where he actually produced the plate. When the etching is finished, it is black and white. It is just the colour of the ink, in fact. But from a commercial point of view, people much prefer to buy coloured work than black and white work. So when the etching ink had dried, he would have stretched the paper. He'd have done quite a number of at the same time, in fact, and put watercolour washes on the etching to achieve the colour that you see. James Priddey put washing up liquid in his water that he used for mixing his watercolour paints so that it would kill any residual grease left on the paper, and consequently you would get a smooth watercolour wash. I'm not a printmaker myself, although I have studied lithography at Bourneville School of Art. My main area of interest is watercolour painting. I think I got a lot of my artistic talent from my father. Our family genes happily did not miss any generations, and I continue to paint to this day. Art has always been in the house, really, and talk of the RBSA has always been in the house since I can remember. I previously said that Dad was made an associate in 1950, and that was the year I was born. So a good year for him, and I'm glad that I made it to be an associate and a member of the RBSA. James Priddey has done a lot of drawing and painting and printmaking, and Birmingham has been one of his major subjects. This is one of his best examples in my view, but he has done an etching, quite well-known etching of St Chad's Cathedral from the back, which sadly that view has now gone because of new development. And he's done several of New Street and Corporation Street, the law courts, and other well-known buildings such as the Town Hall and the Council House. This work represents a part of the Birmingham that's now gone. I'm old enough to remember this quite well, so it resonates with me on that level, and on an artistic level I think it's a very, very well done piece of work. Superb drawings and great texture that James Priddey has managed to incorporate in the piece. I think anyone that accesses the collection will learn something about the collection, and this particular work, unless they're of a certain age, they will learn something of the Birmingham that has now been demolished and has gone. And so it is important for that reason to have works like this in the collection.